Today from the National Training Center in Clearmont, Florida, the site of the FHSAA softball finals. This is a Class 4A state semifinal between the Raiders of Gulliver Prep out of Miami and the Vikings of Bishop Verot out of Fort Myers. Hello everyone, I'm Mike Rideout along with Mike Estes. We welcome you to today's Class 4A state semifinal. Let's go through our starting lineups for the visitors. The Raiders of Gulliver Prep, coached by Mark Schusterman in his 26th year. Gulliver Prep 25-5 on the year. You see Ashley Leon will lead things off at third base, batting second in center field, number 18, Dominic Grossman. The first baseman, number 13, Stephanie Texera, is a junior who bats third. The cleanup batter's the pitcher, a senior, number 81, Christina Gabriel. Batting fifth in right field, number 33, Gabby Draney, a sophomore. Batting sixth, the shortstop, number 29, Crystal Garcia. Batting seventh, the freshman, designated player, number 23, Sophie DeSolo. Batting eighth, the catcher, freshman, number 27, Tori Rios. And batting ninth, the second baseman, number 3, Taryn Bray. She is a senior. Gulliver Prep, as I mentioned, coached by Mark Schusterman in his 26th year. They are looking for a three-peat. They are back-to-back state champions. For the Vikings of Bishop Verot, actually we'll set the defense for the Vikings. Around the horn, left to right, Jordan Honch over at third base. Amber Plaza is at shortstop. Morgan Cole is at second. And Cassidy Stowicki is at first base. Kelsey McCurdy behind the plate catching. Annette Castaldo is in the circle there in the middle of your screen. And in the outfield, left to right, is Kristen Marshall, Sam Davies, and Chandler Smith. As we are ready for softball, glad to have you tuned in wherever you may be. And if I can get our producer to turn up my microphone. Mike, I don't know if you can hear me or not, but I can't hear myself. So
no, Mike, I hear you fine.
Okay, all right. As that one's bunted first base side, that's going to be a close play, and it won't be in time. A leadoff bunt single for Ashley Leon.
Yeah, good placement. Perfect placement on that bunt, and she's quick.
So that will bring up Dominic Grossman. A leadoff bunt single. Grossman in center field. As we are just underway here in the Class 4A state semifinals. Grossman is signed with Georgia Southern. Shows bunt, takes a strike. By the way, your umpires for today's game out of Orlando. Behind the plate, Fred Westbrook. At first base, Roger Barabee. And at third base, Bob Kleba. As the next pitch is bunted up in the air to third baseman, Honch makes the play. The throw to first won't be in time.
It was a good read there by the runner at first, getting back in time. That was a very good play by the third baseman. She didn't have any shot at first due to the hustle.
Yeah, actually she didn't even throw over to first base, so no need in taking a chance on throwing it up the line. So with one out, one on, here's Stephanie Texera, the first baseman, a junior, as the first pitch is called a strike, 0-1. Texera has committed to FIU, one of the strongest hitters I've ever had, according to Mark Schusterman. Runner on the move. The pitch inside is called a ball. The throw to second, not in time. A stolen base for Ashley Leon.
Yeah, she picked a good pitch to go on. That was a changeup. Obviously, she didn't know a changeup was coming. It was just a luck of the draw there.
2 balls and no strikes to Texera. And the 2-0 pitch. Swung on, hit the opposite way, curving out of play. That's a foul ball, and it's now 2-1.
Yeah, she's crowding the plate, kind of daring them to throw inside.
Actually, correction, apologies. It's 1-2. I'm looking at the scoreboard. They had 2-1. Our crew had it right. It's 1-2.
The umpire's
in fact, the umpire
it.
is now letting everyone know that the count is, in fact, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Texera, with 5 home runs and 5 triples, 6 doubles, 31 ribbies, but out on strikes here.
Yeah, and another changeup, I believe.
So 1 out, or excuse me, 2 outs, 1 on. And that'll bring up Christina Gabriel, the starting pitcher. As this one's popped up behind home plate, but unfortunately McCurdy couldn't get to it. Just a foul ball. Looked like Leon was on the move on that play.
Yeah, she had a good jump. I think they had maybe a hit and run on there.
Gabriel has signed with George Mason, signed back in November. Takes the first pitch outside, or the next pitch outside, rather. That'll even the count at 1 ball and 1 strike. Castaldo's first year of varsity. Throws 5 pitches, 3 with confidence, a screwball, a curveball, and a fastball. She comes inside on the batter, and that one's hit out of play.
Yeah, so far she's right in the strike zone. Very efficient pitcher.
And she relies on her command and not her velocity. She will start both games for the Vikings. 1-2 the count on Gabriel. A 1-2 pitch taken outside as McCurdy tried to sell it, bringing it back in. The count evens at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Gabriel second on the team with 23 runs driven in. She leads the team with 9 doubles, batting .363 on the year. As this one is fouled back, count remains even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Gabriel had a home run against University School in the region final. She hits with power, more of a gap hitter.
Yeah, I know her from travel ball. She's a very good player.
As that one is taken outside for a ball. And she's got a grit about her, according to Coach Schusterman. Her dad is one of the offensive coordinators on the football team.
Yeah, I know her dad, Frank, real well. And I used to tease her all the time with her dad standing there that she should play for a good travel ball coach instead of her dad.
3-2 pitches popped up. This is playable in foul territory, and Jordan Honch will make the catch for the 3rd and final out. So that will do it for the Raiders in the first. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 runner was left on base. Mike, you look at this Gulliver Prep program, and as I mentioned, they're looking for a three-peat. In the last 14 years, they have either been a state champion or a Final Four team 7 times.
Yeah, that's, what's the word everybody likes to use? A dynasty.
Dynasty, right.
And with the same coach. And in high school softball, that's big. If you can keep the same coach and build a program, not just a team, and that's what Coach Schusterman has done.
All right, let's take a look at the starting lineups now for our home team, the Vikings of Bishop Verot. The 3rd baseman, Jordan Honch, number 14, a junior, will lead things off. Batting 2nd in left field, number 4, also a junior, Kirsten Marshall. Batting 3rd, the shortstop, a junior, number 9, Amber Plaza. The cleanup batters, a senior, catcher number 8, Kelsey McCurdy. Batting 5th, sophomore first baseman number 10, Cassidy Stawicki. Batting 6th, another senior, center fielder number 26, Sam Davies. Batting 7th, a sophomore in right field, number 7, Chandler Smith. Batting 8th, the designated player number 24, Jessica Kramer. She goes by Jess. And batting 9th, second baseman number 12, junior Morgan Cole. And in the circle, Annette Castaldo. Defensively for Gulliver Prep, around the horn left to right, Ashley Leon is at 3rd base, Crystal Garcia at shortstop, Taryn Bray at 2nd, Stephanie Texera at 1st, and Tori Rios behind the plate catching. Christina Gabriel is in the circle. In the outfield, left to right, Paola Proctor, Dominic Grossman, and Gabby Draney. So Jordan Honch will lead things off against Gabriel, who comes in with a record of 21-2 on the year, making her 25th appearance, her 24th start, and 137 innings pitched. She's walked 29 and struck out over 160. She's got a .77 ERA with 11 shutouts on the year.
Wow, 11 shutouts. That's dominant.
That is. Honch takes the next pitch for a called strike. The count evens at 1 ball and 1 strike.
Yeah, like I said, I always tried to lure Christina away from her dad's team when she was younger.
Honch with a swing and a miss. So she's behind in the count now. Honch leads the team with 35 runs scored. 2nd on the team in hits with 34. Also 2nd on the team with 5 doubles. Batting .315 on the year. As that one is going to miss for another ball. Count evens at 2 balls and 2 strikes. When she was a freshman, she was the only freshman that made the team. She was a shortstop But when Amber Plaza transferred from North Fort Myers, she moved over to third without a complaint, even though shortstop was in her heart. This one is fouled back. She can also not only hit the ball, but put it down and beat it out. Hits with power. An excellent two-strike hitter, according to Rick Hendricks. Rick Hendricks in his 5th year as the head coach of the Bishop Verot Vikings.
Yeah, moving from short to third, that's just being a teammate.
Yeah, absolutely. This is going to be a tough play. In fact, it will get through for a base hit. First hit of the game for the Vikings. A leadoff single by Hunch here in the bottom of the 1st inning. So Hunch at first for the left fielder, Kirsten Marshall. Kirsten leading the team with 48 hits. She also leads the team with a .527 batting average.
Wow, that's an amazing average right there.
Yeah, 48 for 91, Mike, on the season. And this one's bunted foul over by the first base dugout.
Yeah, see, Gulliver Prep, they're thinking that she's bunting, and they're trying to jam her, maybe throw a ball that moves up, a ball that moves in, get it on her hands, and you end up with a ball in the air, which you had there, but it was out of play.
The 0-1 pitch. That one's bunted back to the netting for strike 2.
Yeah, and usually with a slapper, I like to play a slap defense. They're playing kind of corners up, like if she was a right-handed batter bunting. Maybe they know something more about the team than what you normally would. Yeah, they're playing in just straight bunt defense.
The 0-2 pitch. Well, she bunts with 2 strikes, and she's going to be out. The throw back to first, not in time. Interesting that she wasn't swinging away with 2 strikes.
Yeah, and even with their defense even set up just for a bunt, you'd think that they may change that a little bit. But maybe that's where their confidence is. They were just trying to move the runner.
So 1 out, 1 on, and here's Amber Plaza, the shortstop. Plaza Jr. First pitch up and in, runner going to second. The throw, not in time. Stolen base for Hunch.
Yeah, see, again, the runner went on the changeup. Picked a good pitch to run on.
As I mentioned earlier, Plaza transfer from North Fort Myers. She has a chance to bring her in now. Runner in scoring position as that one misses high and away for ball 1. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out with a runner at second here in the bottom of the 1st inning.
Yeah, Bishop Verot looks like they're going to try and play for 1 run, at least score first, and see if they can get anything else going.
Amber does lead the team in RBIs with 33. Checks her swing, but she did offer at it. You can hear the "oh" from the other side, from the Vikings fans. They didn't like that call, did they?
No. 50% of the fans here today liked it. The other 50, no.
Right. 1-2 with 1 out. The 1-2 pitch. Swing, and she got a piece of it to stay alive. According to Coach Hendricks, Plaza is all around the best player. She would have won the job at third base, but they needed her at shortstop. Very tenacious player who takes control. One of the more vocal players on the team. She'll go opposite field on you. And she does hit this one the opposite way. A little slow roller to second. The throw to first in time. 4-3 on the putout, but Hunch moves down to third.
Yeah, you're talking about her being vocal, and that's exactly what you want from your shortstop. You want her to run that infield between her and the catcher. That's the 2 players that need to talk the most.
Well, and that's interesting you say that because Kelsey, the catcher, is the most vocal, and Amber would be, but a lot of times she just kind of lets her Kelsey handle things.
Yeah, and that's what you really want. You want your catcher truly is the captain of what goes on in that infield. And it's great to have 2 kids at that caliber.
There's McCurdy, Kelsey McCurdy, whom we just talked about, the senior catcher. 2 outs with a runner down at third base. McCurdy second on the team with 25 runs driven in, hoping to give the Vikings the first lead of the ball game here in the bottom of the 1st inning.
Yeah, this infield's nice and hard. I mean, I've seen a lot of high hoppers go over infielders' heads, and these kids just pound the ball in the ground. You have some success getting the ball to the outfield.
1-1 pitch, bunts this one foul.
Wow, that's a 2-out bunt. 2-out squeeze, a safety squeeze maybe. Unless they got a sign mixed up, that's new.
Kelsey, a very timely hitter. A couple of game winners, including a game against LaBelle in the region semifinals. Had a big hit to drive and a run. And she went around, swing and a miss. That's going to be the first strikeout of the game for Gabriel. And that will do it for the Vikings here in the bottom of the first inning. No runs on one hit. There were no errors and one runner left on base. So we have completed a full inning of play. It's the Vikings nothing, the Raiders nothing here on the FHSAA network. Mike Rideout along with Mike Estes, or as I said before the game, Mike and Mike in the afternoon.
There you go.
We've got two more games after this one, Mike, but before we talk about that, I know you were in attendance last night for that 7A championship game between Bartow and Chamberlain. What a game.
Yeah, it was real exciting. What an atmosphere. The biggest crowd that I've seen here so far, and they were pretty rambunctious last night. It was quite an exciting game, high-scoring game, for fast-pitch softball.
And I've seen some dominating performances in the circle. I don't think I've ever seen as dominating a performance as Maddie Gonzalez. 4 home runs and 11 RBIs in the 2 games.
Amazing.
She had the game winner with 2 outs last night in the top of the 7th inning, a 2-run homer as Chamberlain defeated Bartow by the final score of 9-8. So they win the Class 7A state championship. And another tough loss for Bartow, wasn't it?
Yeah, again, I know they lost last year in the state finals 2-1 or 1-0.
After beating an unbeaten nationally ranked team to get to the championship game.
Yeah, which was Eastlake.
Yes.
Thanks for bringing that up, Mike.
I didn't want to try to rub it in that much.
Yeah. No, that's.
I was trying to say it subtly.
Yeah, it's all good. Yeah, we were 28-0 come into that game. Not bragging, but when we were ranked 2nd in the nation, but it meant nothing after that game, didn't it?
Well, we just saw the #1 baseball team in the country, Olympia High School, lose in the region finals for the first time all year. They go down and their season's over.
Yeah, I was talking to their softball coach about that same thing.
Gabby Draney leading things off here in the top of the 2nd inning. And that one is popped up over in foul territory. The first baseman, Stowicki, is there for out #1. So 1 gone, and that'll bring up Crystal Garcia, the sophomore shortstop. Well, I had to say I'd keep dwelling on it, but how long did it take to get over that?
It's, as a coach, you gotta, you're gonna think about it and think about it. I still think about certain things in that game today, but it's one of those things. You don't do anything different. You can't, you never second guess what you've done, because if you do, then you're really gonna, you find yourself in a rubber room. You continually second guess everything you call and do, and
and maybe at some point you'll be able to draw on that experience in the future.
Yeah, we lost the year before in the semifinals to Niceville 1-0, and I had 2 players, thrown out at the plate on, plays at the plate, obviously, and you look back and say, well, if I'd done something different there, maybe it's a different game.
1-2 now on Crystal Garcia, the shortstop. Garcia played outfield last year. Both their home runs this year have been to the opposite field. That one is taken high for a ball, and the count evens at 2 balls and 2 strikes.
That's pretty good. Opposite field home runs. A lot of kids have trouble hitting opposite field, so that's pretty good.
She's 2nd on the team with 8 doubles. Swing and a miss, though, out on strike. 2nd strikeout of the game for Castaldo.
Yeah, they're having Gulliver Prep's having a hard time with the spin and the speed that Castaldo's using at the moment, keeping them very, very much off balance. They're not at all comfortable in the box.
Annette Castaldo, 12-4 on the year, .95 ERA. Here is Sophie DeSolo, designated player. as that one misses inside for ball one. Well, while Gulliver Prep is looking for a three-peat, Bishop Verot making only their third appearance in the finals. They did it, or were here in 2010, also in 2004. And Coach Hendricks told me that this team is the hardest working group I've had in my 5 years here. Well deserved, he said.
And that's what it takes. You need everybody on the team to work hard, and you have one goal.
2-out pitch, lifted towards foul territory. The left fielder, Marshall, couldn't catch up to it. Well, I tell you, that Bartow left fielder wouldn't let anything get by her, whether it was fair or foul.
Yeah, she had a pretty good game last night. She was all over the place. And with this wind, the wind hasn't changed all week, and it's making every play in the outfield kind of an adventure anyway.
Yeah,
it's blowing pretty hard.
Yeah. That one's popped up to left field. This one is playable, and in foul territory, Marshall makes the catch.
Yeah, and as you can even see with just that catch right there, the ball kept going and going.
So it's a 1-2-3 inning here at the top of the second inning. Castaldo with her second strikeout in the inning. We head now to the bottom of the second, still scoreless here in Clearmont, here in the Class 4A state semifinals. Mike Rideout, Mike Estes, glad to have you aboard wherever you may be, tuning worldwide on the web on the FHSAA network. Later we'll show you how you can order DVD copies of our broadcast.
Yeah, actually I was talking to you earlier, one of my players from my travel ball team, and she's going to play with me some this summer, and she lives in Santa Barbara, California. She used to play at Eastlake High School, and she moved there as to get ready for her college scholarship at UCSB.
Now, if she was tuning in for the first game, she'd have to get up very early to watch.
Yeah. So I told her that I was on again at 2:15, and she said, "Oh, I'll watch anyway." So she's listening now and watching now. And
happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. Thank you for what you do. Batters 5, 6, and 7 for the Vikings. As you take a look at Cassidy Stawicki, who will lead things off, a sophomore, against Christina Gabriel. First pitch on the inside corner, called a strike, 0-1.
And so far, both pitchers have been pretty consistent and efficient. They're throwing a lot of strikes.
This is the first full year for Stawicki, who started the season as the #1 pitcher. Hits with power to both gaps.
And she's a sophomore, is that right?
She's a sophomore. She had a big double against LaBelle. That one is taken low and inside for a ball. No score here in the bottom of the second. Bishop Verot 24-6, Gulliver Prep 25-5. That's a called strike to even things up. Coming up next, it will be Indians and Seminoles. Florida High Seminoles and the Keystone Heights Indians.
Nobody named Cowboys.
Had Cowboys yesterday.
Right.
That one hit foul, but that would be great if we had a Cowboys and Indians matchup. I know usually, with me being a Dallas Cowboy fan, they play the Washington Redskins. You get that kind of a matchup.
There you go.
2-2 to Stawicki. Batting .318 on the year, but another strikeout for Gabriel.
Yeah, I was noticing on the screen here, you got the second baseman for Gulliver Prep, Bray. She's helping the outfielders. She's giving them pitch location for the outfielders so they know where the pitch is supposed to be going. If you guys can see her hand behind her back with a number.
Second strikeout of the game for Gabriel. Here's Sam Davies, the center fielder, one of only 2 seniors in the starting lineup.
And I would imagine the shortstop is doing the same thing for the left fielder and the center fielder so they can also see where a pitch may be going.
1-0 pitch. Taken low and inside, ball 2, 2-0. Davies showing bunt. Takes a strike on the outside corner.
Yeah, that might have been just for show, like you said, 2-0. She just putting a bat out there as a disruption. They're just trying to get a base runner at this point.
The 2-1 pitch from Gabriel. Well, she did lay down a bunt, but bunts it foul. 2-2 now. Yeah, Bishop Verot lost 5 seniors from last year that went no further than the first round of the playoffs. Only 3 seniors in 2012. A lot of people felt like this would be a rebuilding year.
Well, sometimes it just clicks, and it doesn't matter what class the kids are.
That one's up high for a ball, 3-2.
You know, one thing I always talk about is you're building a program is, you know, you're putting together a puzzle, and certain pieces fit certain places, and it makes you become the team you need to be.
Davies called the hardest working player on the team, according to Coach Hendricks. She draws ball 4, first walk issued by Christina Gabriel. Sam Davies, the senior, on to first base. Davies, by the way, above a 4.0 GPA. She'll actually try to walk on at UF, but she's really going there to focus on her academics. You like to see players like that. And we've talked about a number of different players in this tournament that are doing the same thing. They could play at the next level, but they're going to focus on academics. The throw to second is in time.
Great play by the shortstop.
So caught stealing, 2-6 for the second out of the inning. And they're going to check on Crystal just to make sure she's okay. Good throw from Rios.
Yeah, she might have got cleated.
So now 2 outs with nobody on base for the right fielder, Chandler Smith.
Yeah, it was a good pickup, a throw that bounced kind of high actually coming off of this infield, and she made a nice pick and applied the tag, got the call.
Looks like she's going to be okay. Chandler Smith, an infielder by trade, but has made the adjustment to the outfield. Considered the most powerful hitter on the team, even though she's just a sophomore. Runs well, has a good glove and arm. Smith bats .294, but leads the team with 8 doubles. Tied for the team lead with only 1 home run. They've hit 2 as a team. But I tell you, with the way this wind is blowing, and I know you mentioned it earlier, blowing from right to left and blowing out to left, if you get one up in the air, it's got a chance to get out of here.
Yes, sir. Yeah, left center to left field. I think anything else is going to get knocked down a little bit.
Yeah. That was a big swing and a miss there, and the count now 1-2. Class 4A state semifinals were scoreless here in the bottom of the second inning. Swing and a miss as Gabriel comes inside on her. She strikes out 2 in the inning and now has 3 strikeouts for the game.
Yeah, she settled in nicely after that first inning and is very efficient, throwing very well.
So in the inning, no runs, no hits, no errors, a walk, but nobody left on base. We head to the top of the third. Gulliver Prep and Bishop Verot scoreless. Entering the top of the third inning, the Raiders will send up batters 8, 9, and 1. This is the first of 2 semifinals in 4A. Also coming up, as I mentioned, Keystone Heights and Florida High. That game scheduled to start at 5 o'clock today. And then tonight it will be the other 8A semifinal between Durant out of Plant City and Jacksonville Mandarin. 7 o'clock tonight, Palmetto of Miami defeated Jupiter 5-4. So Miami Palmetto will face the winner of that Durant Mandarin game. The 8A championship game scheduled for 7:05 tomorrow night. The 4A championship game is scheduled tomorrow afternoon at 4:05. So we're winding down the FHSAA softball finals.
Yes, coming to an end here.
I'll be able to go home for a short while, and then I'll be on the road Wednesday for Port St. Lucie for the FHSAA baseball finals. Looking forward to that.
Oh, wow. Yeah, they're in regionals now, right?
Well, they just wrapped up last night.
Okay.
Yeah, we're all set for the finals. You can go to the FHSAA website at www.fhsaa.org. Just click on the baseball tab and you can check out the classifications. They have the times up, the matchups for all the teams in the FHSAA baseball finals. 2 extra classes, so a little bit longer of a tournament as we had here, which is a reason that we would play on Mother's Day. Normally I don't think they would try to play this tournament on Mother's Day, but we kind of have to.
Yeah, no, that's one thing we noticed when we looked at this schedule at the beginning of the year was they had it planned for Sunday, and we were all shocked. We almost, as coaches, we all thought it might have been a mistake because usually no high school event on Sunday.
Yeah. Tori Rios leading things off. The freshman catcher swings and misses at the first pitch for a strike.
And they're using the same format for baseball then?
They'll play on a Sunday. I think that the games on Sunday, I think there's only 2 championship games on Sunday. But yes, they'll play continually on through Sunday. Tournament runs from Thursday, this coming Thursday, until the following Thursday.
Oh, wow. So it is just a little different. They didn't go Monday to Monday.
Right. But the same in that they will play games on Sunday. 0-2 pitch. That one is lifted down the left field line. Coming in and making a running catch is Kirsten Marshall. So Marshall has made the last 2 putouts going back to last inning when she also made a catch in foul territory. 1 out for the number 9 hitter in the order, the second baseman, Taryn Bray. Bray, a senior. She'll go to UF and won't play. A slapper. And that one goes off the glove of the second baseman. We'll see how they score that one as Bray reaches base safely.
I think that's almost got to be a hit.
I think so too. If so, it would be their second of the game. And that's also going to bring up the top of the order. No, they gave it an error.
Wow. Did anybody tell them it was a state semifinal?
I've always said, and I continue to say this, Mike, the one thing I never, ever want to be is the official scorekeeper.
Yeah, it's I mean, that is a tough decision there, you know. But again, I think the ball's hit hard. It's a reactionary play, you know.
Ashley Leon just hit that one hard, but foul out of play. She has committed to Auburn. Mike, when I asked Coach Schusterman, I said, tell me about Ashley. He said, best in the country.
Is that right?
Which, has to speak volumes considering the players that he's had there at Gulliver Prep. That's the first thing he came out of his mouth. He said that she's a pitcher's best friend. She makes all the plays at third base. Phenomenal player, he said, at third base. Since on the varsity as a freshman, only 1 runner has gotten to second base on a bunt that was hit to her.
Wow.
And that was 2 months ago against what was considered the fastest kid in the county in California. They played a tournament out in California, and the umpire after the game said he may have made the wrong call.
Oh my goodness.
1 and 2 to Leon.
That's an amazing stat to keep track of.
Yeah.
To realize that she had accomplished that.
1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 out to Ashley Leon, the leadoff hitter, junior third baseman who had a bunt single back in the first. Raiders and Vikings scoreless, but a runner at first for the Raiders. As that one is swung on and missed, the throw to first, not in time. Ashley Leon is out on strikes. That's the 3rd strikeout of the game for the sophomore, Annette Castaldo. So a little bit of a pitcher's duel early. And here's Dominic Grossman, the center fielder.
Yeah, both pitchers, for the most part, kept everybody kind of off balance. I mean, we haven't seen, other than a couple balls, the line drive to second was hit sharply.
And that ball hit in the air to left field, but hooking foul out of play. Grossman batting .373, second on the team with 3 triples. She leads the team with 6 home runs. She is a Georgia Southern signee. Runner on the move, but this one had hit out of play again. So it's 0-2 to Grossman, who popped up to the third baseman on a bunt attempt back in the first. She's 0 for 1.
Yeah, a couple kids going to D1.
Yep.
Georgia Southern, Auburn. It's pretty impressive.
Oh, 2 pitches outside. Throw to first, not in time. Raiders had a base runner in the first inning after a leadoff bunt single, but could not score. An error by the second baseman here in the third has a runner at first, but there are 2 outs as that one's hit out of play. Bishop Verot has had 2 base runners, but one of the base runners was thrown out, caught stealing. Combined 2 hits so far here in this scoreless game. 1-2 pitch. There she goes to second. The pitch is called a ball. The throw to second not in time. It's a stolen base.
Actually,
oh, wait.
He
called a strike 3. My apologies. He wasn't very emphatic about calling the strike 3.
No,
I don't know if he was vocal instead of using his arm to call it, but I thought it was a ball. So Grossman caught looking, and that will do it for the Raiders here in the third.
Yeah, he doesn't have a, like you said, an emphatic strike 3 pump out.
In fact, I don't even think he signaled it with his hand until after the players were coming off the field.
I think you're right.
So in the inning, no runs, no hits. There was 1 error, and 1 runner was left on base. We head to the bottom of the third inning. The Raiders and Vikings scoreless here at the National Training Center in Clearmont. Mike Rideout, Mike Estes, thanks for tuning in here on the FHSAA Network. As it's been a little bit of a pitcher's duel between Christina Gabriel of the Raiders and Annette Castaldo of the Vikings. The other 4A semifinals scheduled to start at 5 o'clock. In fact, we see the Seminoles, some of the Seminole players walking here in front of us. It'll be the Seminoles of Florida High and the Indians of Keystone Heights. Jess Kramer will lead things off. Batters 8, 9, and 1 for the Vikings of Bishop Verot. 24 and 6 on the year. Swing and a miss at the first pitch, strike 1. Gabriel has struck out 3 of the last 4 batters.
Yeah, she's really in a groove right now.
And that one going to be a tough play, but how about the play by the first baseman, Texera, with Bray, the second baseman, covering the bag. That ball was hit right between the pitcher and the first baseman, and even though she went down to the ground, Mike got up and made a good play.
Yeah, very solid play. And again, I think Bishop Verot, what they're trying to do is just put the ball in play and try to make something happen.
So 1 out for the junior second baseman, Morgan Cole. Cole shows bunt, pulls the bat back, and takes it high for ball 1.
Yeah, that could be just a timing move there to, having, like I said, they don't look comfortable too much, and Christina's doing a great job of keeping them off balance. So I think they may start doing, a few gimmick things to get something going.
Well, this may help clue us a little bit. Morgan is a switch hitter, but she usually plays small ball when she bats on the left side. Right side, you usually see her swinging away. Hits with power from the right side. The 1-1 pitch. So we'll see if my notes come into play later in the game.
There you go. And she's wearing, looks like a ACL knee brace there. That's, wonder how fresh that is. And this is just timing here, I think, as far as showing the bunt.
Morgan batting .346 on the year, second on the team with 5 doubles, leads the team with 2 triples. Also one of their 2 home runs. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And the 1-out pitch outside, ball 3. Gabriel walked 1 last inning, but Davies was caught stealing. 3-2 the count. Swing and a miss. Another strikeout for Gabriel.
Yeah, that looked like a rise ball. Had some good zip on it. Had a little movement up.
Well, Coach Schusterman told me that Christina Gabriel is one of the toughest kids I've ever coached at that position. 62-4, Mike, in her career.
Wow, incredible.
Top of the order. This one's bunted in the air, and the catch is made as Hunch pops up to third for the 3rd and final out.
With her being 62-4, it kind of makes you think that I'm a pretty smart coach, me trying to get her for my travel ball team.
Exactly,
then, right?
yeah. You were making the right move there. So it's a 1-2-3 inning. First time that the Vikings go quietly in order. We head to the 4th. Still scoreless between Gulliver Prep and Bishop Verot here on the FHSAA network. Coming up here in the top of the 4th inning, Gulliver Prep will send up batters 3, 4, and 5 against Annette Castaldo, who also has pitched well. Castaldo has 4 strikeouts, matching that of Gabriel, who also has 4 strikeouts. In fact, both pitchers have at least 1 strikeout in every inning, so a little bit of a pitcher still so far.
There you go. That's what, as a coach, that's what you look for. You would like to see at least 1 strikeout an inning.
Mm-hmm.
It takes a little pressure off your defense. Makes your defense relax, and a big thing for defense at this point, both kids throwing strikes, and your defense can be ready to play.
So Stephanie Texera will lead things off. She was caught looking back in the 1st inning. She's 0 for 1. A commit to FIU. And she hits this one high in the air pretty well to right center. That one could be. It is. Kiss it goodbye, because it's goodbye softball. A solo home run for Stephanie Texera, and the Gulliver Prep Raiders take the first lead of the ball game, 1-0.
Yeah, just as we're talking about a pitcher's duel.
Yeah.
She just got hurt stepping on home plate.
Oh, wow. What a horrible way to get hurt. Mike, we were talking about the wind, and when that ball was first hit, I wasn't quite sure if it was going to get out of here. I thought it was going to be, so high in the air that it might hang up or get caught.
Yeah, it sure looked like it didn't have a chance at first. I agree with you totally. I thought it was going to be just to the fence, maybe even a little bit shy of the fence.
Well, that's bittersweet there as Texera comes up limping, but she does have the home run to give Gulliver Prep an early 1-0 lead. And here's the pitcher, Christina Gabriel. So only the 2nd hit of the game for the Raiders, but it proves costly for Castaldo and the Vikings. That one is hit foul.
Yeah, and a thing they do here at the state Final Four in this tournament is each time there's a home run hit, one of the volunteers, they go find the ball and then find the parent of that young lady who hit the home run and get them the ball. It's pretty neat.
Texera has moved into a tie with Dominique Grossman for the most home runs on the team with 6. That pitch inside on Gabriel. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out, and 1 run across the plate here at the top of the 4th inning. That one is taken low for a ball. It's 2-1.
Yeah, she's throwing a lot of off speed, and again, she's still keeping them off balance. She just got that one up in the zone,
and that one hit her. So with Gabriel at first, that will bring up Gabby Draney, the right fielder. Granny been in a little bit of a slump. She was sick right around spring break, so it's taken her some time to get back to action full 100%, but she is starting to come around now. Had been playing infield, but moved to the outfield this year. Batting .301. Good bunt. Only one play. That's to first in time. 1-4. Sacrifice bunt.
Perfect placement on that bunt. Made the pitcher field it. And sometimes pitchers are so used to throwing underhand, they go to throw overhand, they make a mistake.
Right.
And it served its purpose.
So Gabriel in scoring position. 1 out for Crystal Garcia, the shortstop. Garcia struck out swinging back in the second. She's 0 for 1. Crystal batting .347, second on the team with 8 doubles. That one's inside and kind of brushes her off the plate a bit.
Yeah, it almost got her. Turned out of the way like you're taught to turn away.
And I understand that's a new rule in softball, that you don't have to necessarily get out of the way now. And I was kind of learning about the rule yesterday, and we saw a player yesterday, I think it was yesterday, maybe it had been the day before, got hit by the pitch, made no effort to get out of the way of it.
Yeah.
2-1 pitch, popped up behind home plate, but this is going to get out of play.
Yeah, I think some umpires will make you come back to the box if you make absolutely no attempt, if you just stand still.
Right.
Most of them like to see you try to get out of the way. And you know, and again, it's a judgment call by them, you know, and sometimes you'll see a kid get hit on a swing or attempting to get out of the way, and it might hit the bat. You don't know if it hit their bat or their hand, and you know, it's a tough call for the plate umpire.
2 balls, 2 strikes to Garcia. First year at shortstop for Garcia. Played in the outfield last year. And that's a wild pitch. So Gabriel to third. Gabriel was hit by a pitch after Stephanie Texera hit a solo home run. And now the Raiders look to go up 2-0.
Yeah, Gulliver Prep letting their pitcher run the bases. A lot of teams use a courtesy runner for the pitcher and the catcher.
The 3-2 pitch, fouled it off.
There's another big pitch, you know, 3-2, 1 out. You really want to stay in a strike zone here, but you also don't want to give up a hit. What you're really looking for is a ground ball. Infield's in. They're trying to cut down the runner at the plate.
And just following up on your comment about, you know, most pitchers say, well, here comes Gabriel, the throw home. They had a chance to get her, but it wasn't a good throw. That should be, well, I don't know if they'll score that a wild pitch or an error, because they still could have had her out at first base. But making matters worse was that Garcia was able to get to first as well.
Ball 4. Yeah.
But just following up on the comment you made about in most cases the pitcher will have a courtesy runner. We talked about how tough Gabriel is, very gritty player. You know, her dad being an offensive coordinator in football, she probably wants to be out there running.
Yeah, no doubt, and you can tell by just her slide at the plate. But then in that situation, you had both pitchers involved in that play, Bishop Verot and Gulliver Preps, and Costello got a little shooken up there.
I believe that'll be scored a wild pitch to allow that second run to come home. So Gulliver Prep now leading at 2-0. Garcia drew ball 4. So a runner at first, 1 out for Sophie DeSolo, the designated player.
Yeah, I'm be surprised if they don't let her throw a couple pitches here.
the top of the 4th inning. Class 4A state semifinals from the National Training Center in Clearmont. Mike Rideout, Mike Estes. And the Raiders of Gulliver Prep looking to three-peat. They've won back-to-back state championships. They lead it 2-0 here in the top of the 4th inning on a home run, a hit batsman, a sac bunt, a wild pitch to get Gabriel to third, and then another wild pitch on ball 4, allowing Gabriel to come home.
Yeah, he's talking about a three-peat, and it's tough to get here one time, much less 3 years in a row.
You look at these coaches, a lot of these coaches that have been here this week, and we talked about Mark Schusterman. He's in his 26th year. He's won 580 games. You know, they call Kathy Finucane from Trinity Prep the dean of softball coaches. She's won over 600 games, but even last night, Bartow's coach has won 680 plus games.
Yeah, Glenn
Rutenbar.
Yeah. It's crazy. Yeah,
and then we've got a coach for Keystone Heights in the next game who's in her first year as the head coach.
Yeah, I've been a head coach for 6 years, so I can imagine getting to around 500 to 600 wins. I think I'm around 130 or so, but that's a long time.
It's amazing to think that Rutenbar will get to 700 victories next year if he comes back, which I'm sure he looks young enough where he can still come back and coach.
Yeah, you get it in your blood, and then all of a sudden, it's a passion, and that's how you end up building a successful program, is having that passion.
And plus, the way he's had to go out the last 2 years, that heartbreaking loss, that's probably going to fuel the fire to come back again.
Yeah, and that's, speaking of the same thing, because we lost, 1-0 to Niceville year before last, and and last year was one of the things before the season started that I actually sat the players down and we talked about, is we're going to have to work just as hard. You guys can't take it for granted.
Right. 1-0 pitch. That one is hit pretty well to left field. That one has a chance. That one is off the fence. Coming around to score is Garcia. It's a stand-up double for DeSolo, and the Gulliver Prep Raiders now lead it 3-0.
Yeah, that ball just missed getting out of here by about 1.5 feet, huh?
Barely. When probably not blowing quite as hard as it was last night, that probably gets out of here.
Easily. Yeah, last night's wind was incredible.
So an RBI double for the freshman. Garcia, a sophomore, scoring on the play. Big inning for the Raiders with 3 runs in the inning. And this one popped up by Rios, but that one's foul. First base side. Tori Rios, another freshman, the catcher. 0 for 1 with a fly out to left, in which Kirsten Marshall made a running catch on. The 1-out pitch. Swing and a miss. Good pitch. Well, Rios got to come back. That's only 2 strikes.
Yeah, she's just walking around gathering herself. She's a little upset, I think.
No balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Runner at second for the Raiders. 3 runs across the plate. Swing and a miss. Now she is, in fact, out on strikes. And that's the first strikeout of the inning for Castaldo.
They might want to question that call. That catcher didn't catch that ball clean. And on foul tip, strike 3, it's got to be caught clean.
So if you actually bobble it, you have to throw to first?
No, it's a foul ball. It's just a foul ball. It's not strike 3. It has to be caught clean on that third strike. Yeah, even if you...
And that caught by Castaldo to end the inning. Well, explain that a little bit more for those watching. I mean, myself included, because I always thought as long as you held on to the ball, regardless of whether you bobbled it, that it would be considered the third strike.
Yeah, most of the time on strike, you have 2 strikes, you foul tip the ball. If it's bobbled, they consider it not caught clean. Now, some umpires may say, okay, it hit the glove and then hit her in the chest. That's considered a foul ball. If it hits in her glove and she turns the glove over and it went in the air and went back in, maybe in their in their mind it was considered, controlled and caught.
Okay.
It depends on how in my mind, it depends on how the umpire wants to call it.
Well, a big inning for the Gulliver Prep Raiders as they played 3 runs on 2 hits, no errors. There was a walk and a hit batsman, and 1 runner left on base. So you see the score now. Gulliver Prep with a 3-0 lead over the Vikings of Bishop Verot. But the Vikings will be sending up the top of the order. 2, 3, and 4 coming to the plate against Christina Gabriel. Gabriel, though, has pitched pretty well.
Yeah, she's doing a great job hitting her locations. Kept them off balance, mixing in a change-up, and then she has a real good rise ball.
Gabriel with 4 strikeouts and 1 walk. Allowed no runs on 1 hit through 3 innings. As we mentioned, 62-4 in her high school career.
Amazing.
Mid-upper 50s. Tremendous amount of movement. Locates it very well. Actually, I just noticed my note here about Christina in the running. Doesn't like being run for. That's what the coach told me.
Yeah, maybe she says, all right, if I don't get the run, I'm not going to pitch.
All right. 3-4, Marshall retired for the first out of the inning. So Kristen Marshall is your first out. Here's Amber Plaza, the shortstop. Plaza 0 for 1 with a ground out to second. Swing and a miss. Gabriel has signed with George Mason. Signed back in November.
Is that the Patriot League?
Yeah.
Pretty impressive.
Swing and a miss. Strike 2. Good location of that pitch. Kept it away from the hitter.
Good movement.
Looking for strikeout number 5. The 0-2 pitch. Outside, 1-2. One-two pitch.
Oh.
Called her out on strikes. Low and inside pitch. 5th strikeout of the game for Gabriel.
Yeah, you throw it in that particular location, it's unhittable. For most right-handed hitters, they won't be able to get their hands there fast enough.
Two outs for Kelsey McCurdy, the catcher. McCurdy struck out back in the first inning. She's 0 for 1. I asked Coach Schusterman about getting back and going for that 3-peat, and he said when you get that far, everyone's tough. He said we have to be on our game. He actually said Christina won't strike out a lot, so we have to make plays. Well, today she already has 5 strikeouts.
Yeah, that's, she gets, obviously she's a competitor, and she get into this situation in this game, that's what she wants to do.
She's got McCurdy behind in the count. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Kelsey, a 4-year starter, the focal point of this team, or part of the team as far as leadership. She'll get in your ear whenever necessary. 1-2 pitch is high for a ball. 2-2. You kind of like to see that from your senior leaders.
Yes, sir, and especially from catching position. Again, that's one of the kids that needs to lead the team.
Coach Hendrick said she could play probably Division 2 or 3. Definitely could play at the next level. She hits that one in the gap in left center field. That will be the 2nd hit of the game for the Vikings. McCurdy took the turn, but she'll hold it first with a 2-out single. But she's going to pursue academics at Stetson.
It's a good choice. Stetson, a good school.
Over in DeLand.
Yeah, my oldest daughter started out there playing softball and transferred to USF.
Here's Cassidy Stawicki. Let's see if the Vikings can get a 2-out rally down 3-0 here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Stawicki 0 for 1 with a strikeout. First pitch is taken high, ball 1. 2-1.
2-1. 2-1. 2-1. 2-1. 2-1. 2-1. 2-1. 2-1. 2-1. 2-1. 2-1. 2-1. 2-1. 2-1. 2-1. 2-1. 2-1. 2-1. 2-1. 2-1. 2-1. 2-1. 2-1. 2-1. 2-1. 2-1. 2-1. 2-1. 2-1. 2-1. 2-1. 2-1. 2-1. 2-1. 2-1. 2-1. 2-1. 2-1. 2-1. 2-1. 2-1. 2-1. 2-1. 2-1. 2-1. 2-1. 2-1. 2-1. 2-1. 2-1. 2-1. 2-1. 2-1. 2-1. 2-1. 2-1. 2-1. 2-1. 2-1. 2-1. 2-1. 2-1. 2-1. 2-1. 2-1. 2-1. 2-1. 2-1. 2-1.
Cassidy hits with power to the gaps. Takes a strike there, and that will even the count at 1 ball and 1 strike. She bats .318, 1 double, 1 triple.
Yeah, they'd like to see one of those doubles right now.
They're looking for their first extra base hit of the game, but she lays down the bunt. But how about the play? The third baseman, Leon, just kind of a bang-bang play. How often do you see a third baseman field the ball and then run down the runner at first?
I'm going to say that's the first time ever I've ever seen that.
I don't know if I've ever seen it either.
That was she just anticipated. And actually, you know what? That was her only play. There was going to be nobody at first to throw to because of the way they had their defense.
That might be why she decided to go ahead and tag her out. She had the momentum. That's a great play there at third by Ashley Leon. So that will do it for the Vikings in the 4th. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 runner left on base. We head to the top of the 5th inning. Gulliver Prep out in front, 3-0 here on the FHSAA network, and they've got the top of the order coming up. Ashley Leon, who just made that play. How many times do you see somebody make a play and then bat the next inning? Seems like it happens with regularity, doesn't it?
Yeah, quite often. I bet it's probably one of those stats that they have someplace for Major League Baseball.
Yeah.
We were talking about earlier with Kelly in the previous broadcast is, you know, they have stats for everything.
Mm-hmm.
You know, 0 for 2 when it's a lefty in an away game on Tuesday afternoons.
Situational stats.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But that was probably one of the most athletic plays I've seen this week.
That
crazy.
I don't think I've ever seen a third baseman run down someone to first.
Yeah, that was incredible. You'll probably never see it again. Just the anticipation to know that play was coming was phenomenal.
Yeah. Here's Ashley Leon to lead it off. She's 1 for 2 in the game. Hits that one foul out of play left side for strike 1. So Gulliver Prep with 3 runs in the 4th with a 3-0 lead here in the Class 4A state semifinals. Swung on, hit out of play again.
Yeah, she's taking good swings. She's real good and balanced. I mean, you can tell she's a pretty good hitter. Just her finish on the swing, her initial start is nice and balanced and steady. Doesn't move a whole lot.
She leads a team with 39 hits, also leads a team with 28 runs. She kind of can expect that from a leadoff hitter to lead the team in runs scored. But she's second on the team with a .448 average. 1-2 the count on the junior third baseman, Ashley Leon. She has committed to Auburn, and now we see why Coach Schusterman calls her the best in the country.
Yeah, that might be one of the best plays you'll see all year long in anywhere. And she's leading off, in their lineup, and that's obviously she's an important part of their success.
I'm going to ask Coach Schusterman after the game if she's ever done that before.
That would be a good question because there's a possibility. She made the play like she does it all the time.
Yeah, she did, didn't she?
Maybe she has done it a few times in games or maybe in practice, and it was one of those where she got the read and said, hey, that's that play.
1-2 pitch, reaches out for this one and pops it up back to the seats. So the count remains 1 ball and 2 strikes. Top of the order for the Raiders here in the top of the 5th inning.
Yeah, see, that's what you want your leadoff batter doing, getting the pitch count up, fight off good pitches, get a pitch you can drive.
That one is hit out of play again, left side.
It kind of looks like the Gulliver Prep kids know the wind's blowing out. They're all taking healthy cuts.
A lot of empty seats, but last night there were no empty seats for that Bartow-Chamberlain game.
No, it was just about standing room only. There were people everywhere.
1-2 pitch, hit to center field. Back goes Davies, and it's going to go over her head. Leon rounding second. She's headed for third. She's going to get in there standing up with a triple.
She just went home.
Wow, she did just come home. I was looking down, marking it on my score sheet.
Yeah, the pitcher got the ball and just kind of leisurely was walking back to the circle. And
shortstop Plaza just came over to tell her about it too, to get her to stay in the game.
And she was probably upset about giving up the big hit and forgot to focus on the rest of her job.
So Leon with her actually first triple of the year.
That's hard to believe.
Here's Dominic Grossman, the center fielder, who's 0 for 2. 1-0 pitch, called a strike.
Yeah, but triple's kind of hard to actually get, you know, in fast pitch softball, high school level, because of the size of the fields.
But then again, with her speed, you would think it had happened before. Popped up left side. This one might be playable, but in foul territory, Marshall can't make the catch. One ball, 2 strikes on Grossman. Grossman, as we mentioned earlier, has signed with Georgia Southern. One of several Division I signees on this team. Gabriel has signed with George Mason. Leon has committed to Auburn. She's only a junior, though. Texera has committed to FIU. Very talented team. Trying to win their 3rd consecutive state championship.
That kind of explains why they're here.
Yeah. The 1-2 pitch. That one hit out of play. Left side. Only 5 seniors. So they just kind of reload there at Gulliver Prep. Last 14 years, either a state champion or in the Final Four 7 times.
I'm curious, they probably have a JV program too that helps feed.
You know what they do have, Mike? They play on turf.
Oh, really?
And I talked to Coach Schuster. I said, there's not that many schools that play on turf, are there? And he said, no, we're one of just a few in the state, he said. 1-2 pitch, good pitch, maybe a change-up, swing and a miss, as Grossman is out on strikes for the 2nd time. Castaldo needed that for her confidence, I think.
Oh, yeah, that was a great change-up. It was a good spot to throw it and got a good result.
That's the first out of the inning here. Stephanie Texera, the first baseman, who hit a home run. Good to see her come to the plate because she got injured coming home. She had a home run.
Yeah, it looks like they took her in and taped her left ankle. She didn't have the tape on before, and I think she twisted it a little bit there. Scoring at home.
And that one hit her. So with 1 out and 1 on, that'll bring up the cleanup hitter, the pitcher, Christina Gabriel, who also was hit by a pitch last inning after Texera's home run. Gabriel has also popped up to the 3rd baseman in foul territory. The 1-out pitch. Across the plate, called a strike, 0-1.
Yeah, after hitting a batter, it's one thing you want to do as a pitcher, really just bear down, throw a strike, work to the next batter, and let that particular bad pitch go away.
Gabriel batting .363. Leads the team with 9 doubles, 2nd on the team with 23 runs driven in. That's called a strike. It's 0-2. The 0-2 pitch. Set up outside, but it misses outside for ball 1.
Yeah, they're just trying to get her to chase at something out of the zone. Smart hitter, you know, experienced hitter. She's not going to fish too often for that.
Raiders with 3 in the 4th, 1 here in the 5th. As that one is hit foul left side. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 out.
game's moving right along. We're in 5th inning already.
Hopefully you didn't just jinx us, though. As that one is hit to the left side, the shortstop going to go to second for the force out. Plaza gets it to Cole, 6-4 fielder's choice. As Texera has retired at second, and there's 2 outs. We had a game the other day, Bishop Snyder, their semifinal game. And I think Don Stratton may be working with that one with me. I can't remember now, but made the comment, we're moving right along. Well, we were moving right along, but then the game went into 10 innings.
That was the 2-1 game?
That was the 2-1 game,
yeah,
right.
Yeah.
Bishop Snyder defeated Trinity Prep. That's right, 2-1.
Yeah, I'd blame that on Don, too.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Because, you know, it's always the broadcaster's fault. If there's a no-hitter, and we say there's a no-hitter, and they get a hit, it's our fault.
Yeah.
We made the pitch.
Yeah.
All right, we have a courtesy runner for Gabriel. Interesting that Gabriel won't run, but with a 4-0 lead, why take any chances, right?
Right. And, if they can hold on to this 4-0 lead, she needs to pitch tomorrow.
Yeah.
And you don't want to take any chances.
Anna Hilton, the courtesy runner, as this one's popped up back to the seats. Anna, just an 8th grader, the only 8th grader on the roster.
So maybe they don't have a JV program. Maybe they just let from 6th grade up play. I'm not sure. I know a lot of the private schools in our area are that way. They don't have a JV program. They may have what they call a middle school team.
Gabby Draney, the batter. She popped up to the first baseman in foul territory in the 2nd, a sac bunt in the 4th. She bats with 2 outs and 1 on. 1 run in, the Raiders of Gulliver Prep with a 4-0 lead here in the top of the 5th. As that one swung on, popped up to short, and Plaza will make the catch for the 3rd and final out. But the Raiders get a leadoff triple, and then Leon steals home as the ball went back to the pitcher. So in the inning, there was 1 run on 1 hit. No errors. Maybe a middle error.
Yeah, you can't record those.
And then 1 left on base. So as we head to the bottom of the 5th inning, our new score, Gulliver Prep 4 and Bishop Verot 0 here on the FHSAA network. Mike Rideout along with Eastlake head coach Mike Estes, excuse me. So we welcome you to the National Training Center here in Clearmont. Final day of the tournament coming up tomorrow. And still yet to come here on this day, the other 4A semifinal between Florida High and Keystone Heights, scheduled to start at 5 p.m.
Yeah, I'd like to see the same weather just like this for tomorrow, too.
Now, this would be okay because the wind's not blowing nearly as much as it was yesterday. The sun's not out. You're right.
And the love bugs are leaving us alone at the very moment.
Absolutely right. This is, I don't think we could have drawn it up any better than this right here.
Yeah, this is perfect. As a player, they got to like this, too. It's not 85, 90 degrees and over 100% humidity or something.
Here in the bottom of the 5th, Vikings will send up batters 6, 7, and 8. Sam Davies, the catcher, will lead, or excuse me, center fielder, will lead things off. Davies walked but was caught stealing in the 2nd. Davies batting .395, good for 2nd on the team, also with 1 triple, 2 doubles, 20 runs driven in. The next pitch, that
just
one misses
missed.
Low. According to Coach Hendricks, the hardest working player on the team. Swung on and popped back to the seats. She was very raw as a freshman, but has really developed into a great player. Also has above a 4.0 GPA. Very vocal and well-rounded woman, according to her coach. And I asked her about, walking on at Florida. She's going to try and walk on. I said, why do you think she has a chance to make the team? And Coach Hendricks said that she can help anyone in the outfield, but she has a great work ethic.
A lot of the colleges like walk-ons, and they don't have to spend any money to get a solid player.
1-2 pitch. That's grabbed in fair territory. The throw across by Leon is in time. 5-3 on the putout. Texera. Nice play at first base on the throw in the dirt.
Yep. That's where she needs to go over and give her a high five and say thank you very much.
Right.
Thanks for helping me out.
There's a look at Leon, committed to the University of Auburn, and there's your next batter, Chandler Smith. Most powerful hitter on the team, according to Coach Hendricks. Struck out swinging in the second, though. She's 0 for 1. Chandler batting .294, leads the team with 8 doubles, also has 1 home run, one of their 2 home runs. Gabriel, though, has her behind in the count. No balls and 2 strikes.
Yeah, she's throwing so efficient. I mean, it's tough for them to get anything going.
Gabriel trying to continue her streak of at least 1 strikeout in every inning. 1 in the first, 2 in the second, 1 in the third, 1 in the fourth. The 0-2 pitch outside, 1-2.
Yeah, it was a change up, just missed. And she might have had her there. She was a little on her front foot.
Good waist pitch. Trying to see if she could make her chase it. Good patience, but this time blows it by her. Swing and a miss as she's out on strikes for the second out of the inning.
Yeah, it seems like Gabriel, every time she needs a key pitch, she goes to that rise ball.
So 2 outs. Now that'll bring up the designated player, Jessica Kramer. Kramer 0 for 1 with a ground out. First pitch is called a strike. Kramer, primarily a basketball player. She came out late. The seasons overlapped, so she got a late start on the season. Took her a while to break into the starting lineup, but she's a hard swinger, very fast, and she's been productive at the plate.
That means she's athletic. She's playing 2 sports. So you got to like that.
Coach Hendricks said he's been very pleased with her progress. That one's set up outside, but it misses outside for ball 1. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs, nobody on base. Gulliver Prep with 3 in the 4th, 1 in the 5th for a 4-0 lead. And the way Gabriel's been pitching, that may be enough.
That's going to be tough. She's, like I said, she's just throwing so well, hitting her spots.
Unless there's a Maddie Gonzalez down there somewhere.
Yeah. You never know.
Maddie Gonzalez, for those of you who don't know, plays for Chamberlain, and in this tournament had 4 home runs and 11 RBIs, 8 in the semifinal. She hit 2 home runs in the semifinals, 2 in the championship game, and her 2 in the championship game, 1 was hit in the top of the 7th inning with 2 outs, and it proved to be the game winner, 9-8. So congratulations to the Chamberlain Chiefs as they come from behind and win the 7A title, 9-8 over Bartow, and probably the best game so far of the tournament. I haven't been here for all of them, been trying to catch them online. As that one's called a strike on the inside part of the plate. Kramer is out on strikes, and it's a 1-2-3 inning here in the 5th.
Yeah, that atmosphere last night, it was one of those things, almost like a state football championship.
It's funny you mention that, because we talked about, that seems like a football atmosphere, because you had one side of would start doing a cheer, and then the other side would start doing a cheer. It was a great atmosphere. You're right. Last night.
Yeah, both sets of fans had megaphones, and they were actually battling it out to see who was going to be have the better cheer squad.
They had the face paint on and had the bodies painted as if it were a football game. That strikeout for Gabriel, her 7th of the game. And even though Castaldo has struggled some today, Mike, she still has 6 strikeouts. Just a couple bad pitches here and there. I know she's hit a couple of batters, but overall hasn't pitched that poorly.
No, and again, it's one of those situations where she is actually throwing a solid game, and it's hard to win with 0.
She'll face batters 6, 7, and 8 here in the top of the 6th inning. Crystal Garcia, the shortstop, will lead things off. She has walked and struck out. She also scored. Pops the first pitch up, but it's going to get out of play for strike 1.
And we saw that cameraman get hit last night's game for Bright House.
But he stayed in the game.
Yeah. The ball came off. I think it went off the dugout roof, didn't it? And
kind of ricocheted, and I couldn't tell if it hit him in the nose or where it hit him.
Yeah, it hit him in the nose. He was grabbing his face.
There's a base hit to left field. A leadoff single for Garcia, her first hit of the day. And the 5th hit for the Raiders.
Oh, and she's down. She got hurt on that play somehow. Wonder if the ball just hit her in the knee.
So the assistant coach, one of the assistant coaches for Bishop Verot, will go out to left field and check her out. I don't think that's the trainer. That might be Jen Soto. Or actually it could be Lori Castellano. And now we do see maybe a trainer go out there as well.
Yeah, I think that's Gulliver Prep's trainer or an assistant coach, one of the two. There's a trainer.
So a leadoff hit here in the top of the 6th inning. We hope that Kirsten Marshall will be okay.
I have to tell Bob, the umpire at third base, he should have stayed out there longer. He had some good camera time going on.
Well, starting out in Class 1A, let's take a look at how things have gone so far this week. In Class 1A, the Hornets of LaFayette out of Mayo captured the 1A championship with a 12-9 win over Jay High School. In Class 2A, Grandview Prep edged Pine Castle. Pine Castle had won their game against Monroe 11-0. Grandview Prep won their game in 3 innings over Sheridan Hills Christian 19-2.
Wow.
But Grandview Prep edges Pine Castle 6-5 to win the 2A championship. In Class 3A, it was American Heritage defeating Bishop Snyder by the final score of 3-0. So American Heritage of Delray Beach is your 3A champion. 4A, our other semifinal coming up next between Keystone Heights and Florida High. The winner of this one will play the winner of that one tomorrow. And Class 5A, another American Heritage out of Plantation, a 4-0 winner over Bellevue. So American Heritage of Plantation is your 5A state champion. Maybe a little bit of a surprise, Pembroke Pines, a 1-0 win over Niceville in the 6A championship game.
Yeah, Christina Sacramento pitched a great game for Pembroke Pines. I watched that one. And I also know her from travel ball. She's known her since 10 years old. She's just a competitor, and she pitched just an amazing game.
Marshall at least is on her feet, and I guess now they're going to see if she can put any weight on it. Yeah, and then the classic last night in 7A, Chamberlain with a 2-out, 2-run homer to win it 9-8 over Bartow. And then meanwhile in Class 8A, Palmetto, Miami Palmetto edged Jupiter today 5-4. They get the winner of the Mandarin Durant game. That game's coming up at 7 tonight. And then that championship game will be tomorrow night. I think she's got a smile on her face a little bit there, so that's a good sign. Looks like it's the inside of her right leg.
Yeah. Maybe a quad or groin muscle. Maybe groin. She might have like hyperextended out there. You know, cleats get caught in the grass all the time.
She's probably saying she doesn't want to come out of the game.
Yeah.
And the look of disappointment because she has to come out.
Yeah, and the way she's walking, she's not like a serious limp, so I'm going to go with it's a groin pull. And I'm sure the trainer's telling her she can't be out there.
Well, because of the netting, even with my binoculars, hard to read the number out there. We've got netting up above us and in behind home plate, and part of the netting is pulled back for the TV crew, Bright House Sports. But it looks like number 7, which would be Chandler Smith. So we'll look and see if we can find out who the new right fielder is. Looks like a 6, maybe an 8.
Yeah, it's hard to tell, isn't it?
Even with the binoculars.
Yeah, it's number 7 and left.
Okay. Let's take a look at the roster for the Vikings. Well, they have a 6 and an 8. There you see the... Maybe we can get a shot at the right fielder, guys, so we can see what number is in right field. Well, she's got her glove
Yeah,
covering
they
the
just
number.
announced it, number 6.
Okay, all right, we got it, guys. We appreciate it. Nice job, though.
She had her glove over her number. Unless you had X-ray binoculars, you weren't going to be able to see that one.
So it's Danielle Russell out in right field. That will bring up Sophie DeSolo. So after the injury and the substitutions defensively, again, Chandler Smith in left field now, Danielle Russell in right field. Sophie DeSolo, the freshman designated player, will bat with a runner at first and nobody out. Third consecutive inning that the Raiders have gotten a hit. They lead it 4-0. Top of the 6th inning here in Clearmont. Winner of this game will play the winner of our next game between Keystone Heights and Florida High. The Indians and the Seminoles. This one's popped up out into left field, and the catch is made by Smith.
Hey, just get put in the game and make a play right off the bat.
So 1 out for Tori Rios, the catcher, who was 0 for 2.
The catcher, number 27, Victoria Rios.
Bishop Verot defeated St. Andrews of Boca Raton 3-0 in the regional quarterfinals, as that one's hit in the air again to left field. A diving attempt, but Smith can't come up with it. Garcia's going to go to third. She'll hold up there, and DeSolo, or rather Rios, to second. It's going to be a tough play. They may score that a hit.
Yeah, I think that's got to be a hit.
So that would be a double for Rios, the freshman, at second with 1 out.
Yeah, I mean, that would have been a ESPN web gem. She makes that catch.
Yes. Taryn Bray, the number 9 hitter in the order, the second baseman, coming to the plate. But as I was mentioning, Bishop Verot, when they beat St. Andrews 3-0 in the region quarterfinals. They had back-to-back shutouts, in fact. They also beat LaBelle 2-0 in the region semifinals before winning at the Academy of the Holy Names 4-2 over in Tampa to advance to today's semifinal. Gulliver Prep was at home throughout the playoffs. They defeated Doral Academy Charter of Miami 17-0. But wasn't quite so easy against Ransom Everglades. It went into extra innings. 3-1 was the final score. As that ball is hit into right field, a run will score, and Gulliver Prep takes a 5-0 lead. Base hit and an RBI for Taryn Bray.
Yeah, that time they played slap defense, and she hit right through it.
Number 1, Ashley Leon.
Well, we head to the top of the order, and here's Ashley Leon, who had a triple to center field and then stole home. As the ball went back to the pitcher, she took off for home and got there safely. 5-0 Gulliver Prep here in the top of the 6th inning. But Gulliver Prep edging Ransom Everglades 3-1 in 8 innings. And then they shut out University School 3-0 to get to the semifinals. Runner going to second. She'll get there without a throw. Leon 2 for 3 in the game. Committed to the University of Auburn. Not only a great defender, according to coach, the best in the country, but she's also a good hitter. Hits that one deep, but out of play left side. She bats .448, good for second on the team behind Texera, who bats .463. Texera coming up a couple of batters later.
Yeah, it's a good part of their order to try to really put this game out of hand.
Absolutely. The 1-1 pitch, that one hit out of play. And this is why this is a big out for Castaldo.
Yeah, that ball right there was home run depth, but foul.
Leon hit 7 home runs as a freshman, only 2 this year because she drives the ball more to the gap now. The 1-2 pitch popped up to center field. Back goes Davy. She's going to make the catch, but it's deep enough to get the run home, and it's now 6-0 Gulliver Prep. So a sac fly and an RBI. First RBI for Leon.
Yeah, see, that's a team player right there. She was just making sure she got that ball in the air, scored that run.
Bray held at second, so 2 outs for Dominique Grossman, the center fielder.
Yeah, she wasn't trying to do too much there. Trying to stay in the middle of the field, keep, drive the ball a little bit. It's a good play. Good at bat, rather.
Mm-hmm. Well, Georgia Southern signee looking for her first hit. Big swing and a miss by Dominique. Strike 1. Dominique Grossman. Been starting since the 8th grade.
Impressive.
As that one is lined foul. Look out over there at third base.
I actually have a young lady on my travel ball team that started at Northside Christian since 6th grade, and she just finished her junior year there. She's pitched every year from 6th grade on. Amazing.
That is. I mean, it's amazing when you see these players so young and playing so well. I mean, I know travel ball is big,
yes,
but still to be able to play at such an early age, very impressive. As that fly ball out to center field is the 3rd out of the inning, and that will do it for the Raiders here in the 6th inning. But they do plate a couple of runs. In fact, they've scored all 6 of their runs over the last 3 innings. 2 runs on 3 hits, no errors, and 1 runner left on base. Interesting story, Mike, about one of the players for Gulliver Prep, Piola Proctor, who played slow pitch in the Middle East.
Wow.
She moved over. She played in Belgium. Her dad works for Mobile, so her mom goes back and forth, but she lives over here. She wanted to play softball. She's also the lead in the chorus, but she actually didn't make the trip until this morning. The team left before then, but she came this morning because they had a performance. But she goes back and forth every now and then with her mom overseas.
Wow. That makes it tough.
Yeah.
Schoolwork and all that.
Mm-hmm.
And impressive. That's there again, it's a student athlete. That's what we talk about all the time at our school, is you got to get the academics done first, and to be involved in more than one program.
Maybe since her dad's a big executive for Mobile, she gets cheaper gas.
Probably has her own pump at,
right,
at her house,
exactly.
right?
All right, here in the bottom of the 6th inning, Bishop Verot will send up batters 9, 1, and 2. The Vikings now trail 6-0.
Yeah, she probably gets money from her friends to tell them when the gas prices are going to go up, so
right.
they can go and fill up before they go up. You know?
Exactly
Hey,
right.
Give me like $1. I'll tell you when they're.
Morgan Cole will lead things off. The junior second baseman 0 for 1 in the game.
Yeah, either that or she has to drive to every event with her friends because they know that she's getting gas, right?
Right. Yep. Cole, very talented athlete, switch hitter, has more power when she hits from the right side, and she shows it here, hits it to the gap, and that's going to drop for a base hit. She's headed for second. The throw not in time. A stand-up double, a leadoff double for Morgan Cole.
Right on cue, Mike. Right
Yeah.
on cue. Almost like she got a headset in her helmet. For it.
So that's just the 3rd hit of the game for the Vikings. But maybe a little momentum now as they try to get back a couple of those runs. They're running out of innings, Mike.
Yeah, but yeah, especially with the way Gabriel's pitching.
Yeah.
You know, it's tough. So, but nobody outrun her second. You know, this might give them some life. They score a couple runs here. You know, I watched Durant come from 11 down against Alonzo this year in the district championship over there and win that game.
That one hit foul. Third
And
base side.
I watched Durant come from 6 down against us and beat us.
Wow.
So
Well, they've got the top of the order, so if they're going to make a comeback, this is the part of the lineup where they can do it. Jordan Honch is 1 for 2 today. Swing and a miss at the next pitch. And quickly behind in the count, no balls and 2 strikes. Honch batting .315, leads the team in runs scored with 35. And that one hit well, but out of play, left side. Honch also second on the team in hits with 34. Actually now 35 hits after the hit in the first. So
that's pretty
she
impressive.
Moves into second by herself. She was tied with Amber Plaza, who is hitless today.
You think about that, they've only played 31 games. And
yeah, that's going to be a tough play, but it's a good one made by Bray at second base. 4-3 on the putout. Cole moves to third, and there's one away. Just another couple of inches. That would have been in right field, or maybe at least would have probably gotten her on base because a couple more inches, but I don't know if Bray could have made that play.
No, probably not. That it was, you know, she was stretched out as far as she could at that point.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're absolutely right. That just about got to the outfield.
There's Kirsten Marshall. Playing in left field, but when I talked to Coach, he said she's primarily used for her offense, but she is a 4th outfielder. Bats left-handed, throws right-handed. She turned around last year to bat left. And watch her. She could lay down a bunt here. She could beat out a bunt. But she's also becoming an efficient slapper. An AP honors student. Her offense and her grades give her a chance to play at the next level. The 1-1 pitch. She almost laid down a bunt there. Would have made me look like another genius, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, being an AP student, that's a lot of work right there.
Yeah.
Because I have a few of those kids on my high school team, and they have a lot of academics to take care of.
Batting .527. There's the bunt. They're going to come home, and it's not in time. So the Vikings are on the scoreboard, and Marshall goes to second. She's in there safely as well. That'll be an RBI for Marshall. Cole scores on the play. And as I mentioned, the Vikings are on the scoreboard for the first time. They now trail 6-1.
Yeah, here's a good timeout. Gulliver Prep, that's by their coach, just to come out and settle everybody down. And he probably understands the situation. You know, now a couple plays and they can get right back in the game. Get it within striking distance for the 7th inning.
And I'm sure maybe he even said, you know, hey, don't worry about one run. You know, we got a big enough lead. Let's go for the outs.
Yeah, that's probably exactly what he was saying. Let's work for outs, give that run up.
He probably said the same thing about the runner at second. I mean, you got a big enough lead. Right now, you're just 5 outs away from victory.
Yeah, and especially the way Gabriel's pitching.
Yeah.
Let her do her job. And, again, that was a situation where they made the game harder than what it actually is. You know, and that's one thing I talk to my players about all the time. Make the game easy. The harder you make the game, the worse things happen.
Here's Amber Plaza, transfer from North Fort Myers. All around the best player on the team. Tenacious, likes to take control. Will go opposite field on you. Doesn't have home run power necessarily, but does have that doubles power. One of the strongest arms on the team as well.
Yeah, if you can have gap-to-gap power, you can, you know, really help your team out. That extra base hit is important all the time. Takes you out of force plays.
She leads the team in RBIs. That one's called a strike. Vikings fans, or as I like to call them, the umpires in the stands didn't like that call.
Yeah, they all got a good view.
1 ball, 1 strike.
That was sarcasm, by the way.
Right.
Yeah, we
One
had
out.
a bunch of umpires at that Chamberlain Bartow game last
Yeah,
night. It was getting ugly.
Wind picking up a little bit, blowing out to left field. This one's fouled back.
Yeah, temperatures changed a little bit. It's a little bit cooler. Wind's picked up.
Actually, they count 2-2. Two balls, 2 strikes, 1 out, 1 in, 1 on. That one hit into right center, and it gets by the center fielder Grossman. The run will score easily. Plaza goes in sliding safely at second base.
And she may have gotten hurt.
Like she went in a little bit late to the bag. She probably could have gone in standing up. Well, they've got that netting that dips down on us. I think it was a hit.
Yeah.
I could see it get underneath the glove.
Yeah, I would say it was definitely a hit. It bounced. She dove for it. It bounced right in front of her, I believe.
So we'll score a double and an RBI, and the Vikings now within 4 runs. 2 big runs here in the 6th inning. We mentioned if they were going to get back in the game, they had to do it at the top of the lineup, and the top of the lineup starting to come through now. It was the number 9 hitter that got things started with a double to right center by Morgan Cole. Plaza going to run it off. Looks like she's okay.
Oh, they're going to run for her anyway.
Oh, they are? Okay.
Yeah. Which is not a bad move. I mean, you know.
Verot, number 2, Maddie Soto.
So the pinch runner will be Maddie Soto, number 2.
Yeah, this late in the game, put more speed out there. There's no reason not to. You know that Plaza may not even get a chance to get to the plate again unless they continue to rally.
Here's Kelsey McCurdy, the 4-year senior starter. According to Coach Hendricks, the focal part of the team as far as leadership goes. Cleanup batter who's 1 for 2 today. Base hit, and they're right back in this thing. First pitch is high for a ball, 1-0. McCurdy batting .337, second with 25 ribbies. That one's up high for a ball, 2-0. So the Vikings trying to rally here in the bottom of the 6th inning. 2 runs across the plate. Trailing Gulliver Prep 6-2 here in the Class 4A state semifinals. And what were you saying about our game moving right along?
Yeah.
The next pitch is called a strike.
Yeah, I was just actually thinking about that. I hit the brakes on the bus, didn't I? maybe I just enjoy doing this so much, you know.
Although we're probably not that far off of a 5 o'clock start. So for those of you tuning in now, waiting for the 5 o'clock game between Keystone Heights and Florida High, we may be delayed a little bit, but we started about 15 minutes late with this one. That first game ran a little long. 2 balls, 2 strikes to McCurdy, who is a very timely hitter, according to Coach Hendricks. Now would be a good time. And the pitch, as that one is bounced over to third, called a foul ball. Home plate umpire Fred Westbrook called it right away. So Soto back to second.
Yeah, it looks
McCurdy
like
back to the plate.
Looks like Ashley Leon was actually shaken up on that play. She was something with her hand, maybe her right wrist.
We've had a lot of injuries in this game, haven't we?
You know, you want your players to play hard, and that's, you know, that's part of what we see here. You know, and I think that's the result of it.
This one's popped up back to the seats. When you think about it, Stephanie Texera hit the home run, and as she came home, got injured touching home plate. We also had the left fielder that got hurt, Marshall.
Yeah.
Also the runner in this inning, Plaza, going to the bag at second, got hurt. And then you just mentioned Leon at third base, shaken up.
Yeah, it's just one of those things that tends to happen. You know, I think you see that in certain games.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Or maybe 2 and 2. The scoreboard says 1 and 2. Our scoreboard has 2 and 2. And actually, I lost count. And I don't know what happened there with Proctor in left field. That's actually Paola that we were talking about earlier. Just wasn't able to get to it in time. Just a foul ball.
You know what? I'm just going to make an observation.
Okay.
She's used to playing slow pitch. With 2 strikes, that foul ball could have been out in slow pitch for her.
Oh, okay.
And she may have forgot that she needed to catch it.
Well, our guys had it right. It's 2 and 2. Scoreboard has 1 and 2. As that one is taken outside for a ball, 3 and 2. That's interesting. So on slow pitch with 2 strikes, if you hit a foul ball, you're out?
I'm in most slow pitch. I'm just assuming maybe that's what she was thinking there.
That's interesting. The 3-2 pitch from Gabriel. Swing and a miss. That's a big strikeout. Second out of the inning. Also, she continues that streak of at least 1 strikeout in every inning. That's her first strikeout of the inning.
The first baseman, number 10, Cassidy Stawicki.
8 strikeouts for Christina Gabriel. And here's Cassidy Stawicki, the first baseman. Struck out, and also she was the one that hit the ball to Leon at third, and Leon ran from third base over to first base and tagged her out. Mike and I both agree we've probably never ever seen that happen before.
No, and she actually tagged her out before she could get into the 30-foot running lane.
Right.
Which is amazing in itself.
1-0 pitch. Nope, that one misses low and inside. Ball 2, 2-0. Two balls, no strikes, 2 outs, 2 runs in for the Vikings. They trail 6-2, trying to rally here in the bottom of the 6th. That one appeared to be in the same location, but that one was called a strike. It's 2-1.
Umpiring a thankless job.
The 2-1 pitch. That one's taken low for ball 3.
Half the people like you, the other half don't.
Stawicki won the first base job in mid-season. She's a sophomore. This is her first full year of varsity. Ground ball, left side. The shortstop Garcia to first in time. So that will end the threat in the 6th. But the Vikings do get on the scoreboard as they plate 2 runs on 2 hits, a couple of doubles in the inning. There were no errors, and 1 runner was left on base. So we head to the final inning now The Gulliver Prep Raiders looking for a three-peat. They've won back-to-back state championships. Winner of this one will get the winner of our next one between Keystone Heights and Florida High. And right now the Raiders up by 4 runs as we head to the final inning.
Yeah, they're in pretty good shape. They just obviously the coach would like to tack on a couple of runs here and give them some breathing room, some more breathing room.
Overcast day here in Clearmont. Sun hasn't actually been out the entire game.
No.
Did it peek through for the first game?
Just a little bit. In fact, one of the comments I made to Kelly just before we got on the air was, if it stays like this, it's pretty nice. And the sun was, behind a couple of clouds, and then from that point, it was pretty much gone. But we had to fight the bugs and I think the wind. The wind was actually a little worse than it is now too. But the love bugs were all over the place in that noon game.
Stephanie Texera will lead things off. She had a home run back in the 4th inning. Texera has committed to play at FIU. And according to Coach Schusterman, one of the strongest hitters I've ever had.
Yeah, the home run, her bat speed was really quick. She was right on that ball and drove the ball out of here. I think it hit her.
It did?
Yeah.
That's the 2nd consecutive time she's been hit by a pitch.
Yeah, she crowds the plate and she's up in the front of the box. So she's trying to get the ball before it moves, and then being right on the batter's box line as close as you can get. You're susceptible to that.
There's Christina Gabriel. Texera, who's going to be run for now at first base, she heads to the dugout. She hit a ball against University that would have been a home run, but the girl made the catch over the fence. In fact, the fence broke in making the catch.
Wow.
Coach Schusterman told me that Texera is a homebody. Her dad cooks for the barbecues. Let's see, the courtesy runner, actually pitch runner will be number 8. And that is Camille Kelleher. This one's fouled back by Gabriel.
Kind of quiet around here right now.
Yeah. We do have some Indians and Seminole fans that are. Did that ball go in the bag? It did. There's a garbage bag or something over on the first base side, and it went in the bag. But Florida High and Keystone Heights coming up at 5 o'clock. No balls and 2 strikes to Gabriel.
Yeah, they should be on the field behind us warming up.
0-2 pitch misses outside, 1-2. That one fouled out of play right side.
Looked like she was trying to put 2 in that bag down there.
One and 2. Nobody out with a runner at first. Raiders batting in the top of the 7th inning. They have scored in 3 consecutive innings. 3 in the 4th, 1 in the 5th, 2 in the 6th. And a 4-run lead over the Vikings.
And Bishop Verot wants to leave him right there at 6-2. Try to have a legitimate shot in the bottom of the 7th.
The 1-2 pitch. That one misses outside for ball 2. Gabriel looking for her first hit today. one's outside for ball 3, and it's now full.
Yeah, again, pitching her kind of cautiously, trying to get her to make a mistake on her own.
Gabriel pops this one up left side. The shortstop calls for it. Plaza makes the catch, and there's one away.
Yeah, gotta love that as a coach. She's very vocal, very loud.
Off to our right, the Florida High softball team is heading inside the stadium. They've completed their warm-ups. They're ready. Florida High and Keystone Heights coming up next. Scheduled for a 5 o'clock start, but likely to start a few minutes after 5 o'clock. Probably not too much further, depending on how the 7th inning goes. Well, we're going to have a pinch hitter for Draney, as the pinch hitter will be Tytravia Riley. Riley is senior, so Coach Schusterman wanting to make sure he gets his senior some playing time. On the season, Riley batting .165, 1 double. So this is only her 13th at bat of the season. Swing and a miss, strike 2. But she can say she played in the state semifinals.
Yeah, I'm sure that's what the coach is trying to accomplish here.
A 1-2 pitch, swung on, popped up, foul territory, and it was dropped by McCurdy behind the plate. Not sure how much the wind had to do with that one, but she did get twisted around a little bit.
Yeah, I'm sure it probably moved the ball on her a little bit, and she got a little excited there.
New life for Riley, who steps up in the batter's box now. The 1-2 pitch from Castaldo, fouled back. She caught that one off the fence.
Yeah, that netting back there is like a trampoline. And just bounces, when it hits it just a certain way, it shoots right back at you.
Swing and a miss. Throw to first, not in time. First strikeout for Castaldo since the 5th inning.
The shortstop, number 29.
So 2 outs for the shortstop, Crystal Garcia. The sophomore is 1 for 2 today. She has scored twice. And the first pitch is there for a called strike, 0-1. 7th strikeout of the game for Annette Castaldo, the sophomore.
Yeah, she's starting to just work the outside corner.
Swing and a miss there.
Last 3 batters, that's where she's, or the coaching staff who is calling the pitches, they're staying on that outside corner.
Looking to the bottom of the 7th, Mike. 6, 7, and 8 coming up, so if they can get a couple of batters on base, they got the top of the order waiting and hoping for another chance. That one misses for a ball. It's now 1-2.
Yeah, that's what they would be wanting to do, obviously, is get to that top of the order.
The 1-2 pitch swung on, popped up. That one's going to get out of play.
And especially you get to the top of the order, you probably would have had to have scored at least 1 run perhaps to get to that top of the order, so that gets you close.
That one's in the dirt. The throw to second, not in time. Stolen base for Kelleher.
I think that was a hit and run. She kind of swung in a pitch up in the zone, and she was on the move, which I'm sure, that's a baseball mentality there. 2-1, hit and run. It's a good count to hit and run on. You're going to see a strike.
Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs with a runner at second here in the top of the 7th inning. Popped up. This one's going to get out of play. Kind of hard to tell now with all the blue, you know, if that's Gulliver Prep or is that Keystone Heights.
Oh, all the fans down here on the mezzanine
I know the
area?
fans that are standing up,
Yeah.
but there might be some that are sitting down that are also Keystone fans.
Yeah.
But they are Gulliver Prep fans as well.
Yeah, I think I saw the Keystone coaches watching the beginning of this game earlier.
The Keystone coach in her first year, her mom was the coach for 10
wow.
years prior to her.
Wow, it's pretty neat.
Yeah, especially Mother's Day, they can have something in common at the dinner table, don't they? Runner's going to get down to third on that pitch. Wild pitch.
Yeah, I had my oldest daughter coach with me in volleyball and softball this year. It was pretty neat to finally have her be able to come out. And she wanted to help, so it was pretty neat.
This one's out of play. And Belinda Phillips, who's in her first year as a head coach, her husband is an assistant coach.
There you go, keeping it right in the family.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, that might cause some arguments.
Yeah. 3-2 pitch. That one's outside the dirt for ball 4. So a 2-out walk. And that will bring up Sophie DeSolo, who had a double and an RBI back in the 4th.
Let's see if Gulliver Prep puts on any kind of offensive play here to try to move the runner and maybe try to steal a run. Actually, they go into maybe a delay steal and get Bishop Verot to look at the runner going to second or something.
Castaldo trying to work out of a little bit of a jam. They throw it to second, and nobody's there. That will be an error on the catcher, and the run will score. Well, with 2 outs, I'm almost of the belief, let her have the base.
Yeah, definitely. You just work on the batter. That's a situation where they probably had a play on and somebody missed the sign, is what it looks like, because the catcher just came up and threw and nobody was really there. So I'm pretty sure that's probably what happened.
DeSolo takes a strike.
But yeah, Mike, you're definitely right. You let that runner go, work on the batter, and keep the game at 4 runs.
Yeah. I mean, especially you've got the number 7 hitter in the lineup at the plate. You got 2 outs. As that one is hit out in the gap in left center. And that will be extra bases. An RBI, the second of the day for DeSolo. Well, she would have scored anyway, I guess.
Yeah, now it's a moot point, I guess. Yeah. But still, you go with you're absolutely right. You go with the percentages. Percentages say you let that kid go and pitch to the next batter.
So for the 4th consecutive inning, Gulliver Prep has played at least 1 run. And they now lead it 8-2.
Yeah, it's hard to come back from that. 1 run an inning. Unless you're matching it, it's tough.
Yeah, and making matters worse, Bishop Verot had just gotten their first 2 runs of the game in the bottom of the 6th, had gotten a little momentum, but now Gulliver Prep gets the 2 right back.
Yeah.
And with Gabriel, the way she's been pitching, even though she has given up 2 runs, she didn't need many today anyway.
Not at this point. It sure doesn't look like it.
Here's Tori Rios. She hits that one out of play left side.
Yeah, she walks around quite a bit when she takes this swing. She's almost like a human rain delay down there.
She had a double her last at bat. Came around to score. Gulliver Prep with 3 in the 4th, 1 in the 5th, 2 in the 6th, 2 here in the 7th. 8-2 for the 2-time defending state champions looking for a 3-peat in 4A. They hold on for the victory. We'll get the winner of our next game between Keystone Heights and Florida High.
They just sent a pinch runner out to second. I think it's number 2.
Number 2, Sammy Lujan, running at second base for the Raiders.
That is Sammy Lujan. Lujan running at second base. This This one's popped up left side, but this will get out of play. Lujan, a sophomore.
Yeah, it looks like Coach Schusterman might just be trying to get everybody involved in the game that's on the bench. It looked like Keystone's cheering squad has showed up. Yep.
A little different than what the Bartow guys that we saw yesterday with the pinstripes on.
Yes. Yeah, they're in.
They kind of got their own version.
Yeah, I'm
like
not
more
sure
like
what that
basketball players.
Maybe basketball or track or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. They all got different hats on. Yeah, I bet they get their rooms for free, is what I'm thinking.
Of course, playing late in the day, you can almost come down for the day and go home and come back tomorrow.
Yep. There's one guy down there, he's got a Halloween mask on, Mike.
2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. That one hit in the air to left center. That one's going to be trouble. That one's going to get down. It'll be another double and an RBI. Bishop Verot now down 9-2. 3 runs in the inning for the Gulliver Prep Raiders. Back-to-back doubles.
Yeah, that ball was hit real well. I thought it might get out of here when it first left the bat.
And let's see if that's going to be it for Castaldo.
I don't know if they had anybody else warmed up. I didn't see anybody go to the bullpen.
Coach Hendricks in his 5th year. I mentioned this earlier. He had spoken very highly of this team. Hardest working group I've had in my 5 years here. Well-deserved trip. They lost 5 seniors from last year that went no further than the first round of the playoffs. Only 3 seniors this year. Some people thought this was going to be a rebuilding year, but here they are in the state semifinals.
This shows you, teamwork and hard work. Put those 2 things together and you can achieve a lot. And teamwork is the key. I mean, it really is. There's, so many kids worry about individual stats and getting to hit this many times or play this position. And it's when the kids sacrifice and play a position that helps the team and do what they're supposed to do, that's how you have success.
Here's the number 9 hitter in the order, Taryn Bray. Takes the first pitch for a ball. Bray singled and drove in a run her last at bat. That one slapped back, foul ball.
Yeah, they're playing her straight up this time instead of in slap defense. They're just playing her like a normal left-handed hitter.
You look at the bottom of the lineup, 7, 8, and 9 for the Raiders. They have combined, that ball almost hit her, they've combined for 5 hits and 3 doubles.
Wow. Well, that's what you need. You get that plus your top of the order doing what they're supposed to do.
2-1 pitch. That one's hit out of play. That will even the count at 2-2.
That's why you got 9 runs.
Yeah. 9 runs on 9 hits. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, a runner at second. 3 runs have come across the plate. As the runner's headed to third, the throw won't be in time. Rio safe at third base. So Gulliver Prep with 3 in the 4th. After we had a scoreless game going into the 4th, it was a pitcher's duel, and you mentioned earlier we were moving right along, and we were. But then 3 in the 4th, 1 in the 5th, 2 in the 6th, and 3 here in the 7th have really slowed down this game. As that one is hit back to the fence. I'm estimating about a 5:20 start for our next game.
It probably sounds about realistic. Because they'll let the teams take the normal warm-up. They won't let them, they won't cheat them on that.
We'll have at least 30 minutes in between games. This one hit over to shortstop. Plaza's there. The throw to first in time, and that will do it for Gulliver Prep. But here in the 7th, they send 7 to the plate as they score 3 runs on just 2 hits. There was also a big throwing error by the catcher. And 1 runner left on base. Also a walk and a hit batsman in the inning. So now we head to the bottom of the 7th inning. Gulliver Prep trying to three-peat. And they are 3 outs away from an opportunity to do so. They will play for the state championship, provided they can hold on to this 7-run lead going into the bottom of the 7th inning. And again, would await the winner of our next game between Keystone Heights and Florida High, which is scheduled to start at 5, but
Between Florida High and Keystone Heights will start approximately 45 minutes after the conclusion.
okay, they say we'll start approximately 45 minutes after this game, so maybe even closer to 5:30.
And Mike, it looks like Gulliver Prep's put Draney in to pitch.
Okay, so that will be it for Gabriel as she pitches 6 innings today, allows 2 runs. They were both earned.
Yeah, she's actually playing first base now.
On 4 hits. She walked only 1 and struck out 8. So a good performance today for Gabriel.
And it's actually a smart move to get her out of there. No reason to make her throw any more pitches than she needs to.
So Gabby Draney will come on and throw here in the 7th inning. Gabby 4-2 on the year. A couple of saves, making her 11th appearance. A 1.64 ERA. And she faces batters 6, 7, and 8. Sam Davies will lead things off. Davies today has walked, was caught stealing, and then grounded out to third, so she's 0 for 1.
We got a little bit of a delay here. I think they're waiting on I think the umpire's getting the lineups all corrected.
Again, our next game will start a little bit later, approximately 5:30.
All because I had to mention in the 5th
Florida
inning.
High. So as you mentioned, Gabriel goes from the circle to first base. (9-2). Gulliver Prep leading Bishop Verot here in the bottom of the 7th inning.
Now pitching for Gulliver Prep, number 33, Gabby Draney. Batting the center fielder, number 26, Sam Davis.
Well, he keeps calling her Davis, but it's Davies.
Yeah, he might have written it down wrong on his.
And sometimes, those score sheets, when you get copies, tough to read. First pitch high and away for a ball. And just because it says something in the program doesn't mean that's right. They had it listed as the Vikings, I think. What did you say?
No,
what team
Bishop
was
with
it?
a V.
Oh, that's right, Bishop Verot. They have it
Verot.
listed as Bishop Verot.
Yeah.
Quickly 2-0 to Davies. Seth Polanski took off from my binoculars and didn't bring him back.
He liked him.
I don't just use them for looking out on the field. That's my biggest paperweight.
There you go. You need it today.
Yeah. Not as bad as last night, though, or even the night before. Pretty pleasant right now, as that one is high for a ball.
We're starting to see a little bit of sunshine. Not much out that way.
Trying to peek through. Yep. The 3-1 pitch. That one's there for a called strike. 3-2.
Well, Draney might be their pitcher of the future. She's a sophomore, right? Is that?
There's ball 4. Draney, yep, a sophomore. Second time that Davies has walked today.
Looks like she's throwing pretty hard.
Now batting for Bishop Verot. Number 13, Danica Steele.
And Coach Schusterman did tell me that Gabby is used if Christina struggles or if they have a big lead. A hard thrower, a power pitcher, learning to pitch to contact. Here's Chandler Smith. Actually, no, we have a pinch hitter, don't we? Batting for Smith. This will be number 13 for Bishop Verot. That is Danica Thiel. Thiel batting .242 on the season. Vikings need 7 runs to keep their season alive. 3-0 the count. There's Seth bringing them back now. Thank you, Seth.
Not impossible to score 7, but it's that's a tough hill to climb.
They did get 2 last inning, but Gulliver Prep got 3 in the top of the 7th. That one's taken outside. The throw to first, not in time. It wouldn't matter because that's ball 4. So first and second with nobody out. And that will bring up another hitter, pinch hitter. This will be, actually this is Danielle Russell, who went into right field. Russell batting .353 with a couple of doubles, 9 runs driven in.
Running at first base for Bishop Verot. Number 11,
Ariana Vento will be running at first base for Thiel. And as I mentioned, Russell batting now with runners at first and second.
I'd be curious to see. They probably want her just to hit away. I don't think they're going to try and bunt here.
First pitch, low and inside, ball 1. So Draney having trouble finding the strike zone all of a sudden.
number 6, Danielle Russell.
Again, for those of you who may just be tuning in for the Keystone Heights Florida High game, that game will start approximately 45 minutes at the conclusion of this game. This game started about 15 minutes late. As that one catches the corner for a called strike. Gulliver Prep, 2-time defending state champion, will play the winner of the next game, providing they hold on here to this 7-run lead. I've penciled them in, but you never know. Throw to second gets by, but not far enough to advance the runner.
Yeah, that was, an unnecessary throw right there. They really had no play. No harm though, but still, you don't need to make that play.
Count evens at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Nobody out, 2 on for the Vikings of Bishop Verot. They trail 9-2 here in the bottom of the 7th inning. As that one is popped up, that's going to be a tough play in behind the circle, but they thought it was going to be caught, and they get the easy out at third. Davies wasn't sure whether or not that ball would be caught, so she hesitated. Didn't want to get doubled up. And there's your first out of the inning on a fielder's choice.
Yeah, I thought we might get an obstruction call there because it looked like maybe the shortstop had made contact with Davies, but maybe not, and that have, impeded their making the catch in the air.
So first and second, 1 out. Here's Morgan Cole, the second baseman. That one gets by. The runners will advance. Cole doubled in her last at bat. She's 1 for 2 today.
A couple of hits here, and this might get interesting.
That wind blowing out to left field, as that one is taken outside for a ball. 2-0.
Yeah, the wind's actually picked up, hasn't it?
Well, you're right, because they've got the top of the order coming up. If you get on base here to load the bases, the wind's blowing out, picked up a little bit. Anything can happen. 2-0 pitch, there for a strike, 2-1. We saw one team score, 18 runs in an inning this week?
Yes.
In the first
inning.
The 2-1 pitch, way up high, ball 3, 3-1. Three balls, 1 strike, 1 out. Swung on and fouled back. It's 3-2.
And here comes a big pitch by Draney right here. Don't really want to walk her. You really want to get an out here and take some pressure off your defense.
The 3-2 pitch. That one's popped up into foul territory over at first base. The catch will be made by Gabriel, and now the Vikings are down to their final out of the season. Jordan Hunch, though, will get to bat. Top of the order coming up. Hunch today, 1 for 3. Singled in her first at bat. She's also popped up to the third baseman in foul territory and grounded out to second. 9-2. Gulliver Prep. The Raiders looking to three-peat. Trying to get back to the state championship game.
Yeah, Draney just wants to work with strikes right here.
Swung on and hit foul. As that one is hit foul again. So now they're down to their final strike. No balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 2 on. Here in the bottom of the 7th inning, Bishop Verot 24-6. Gulliver Prep 25-5. The 0-2 pitch, as that one has hit foul, third base side.
She just barely got a piece of that one.
Yeah. Draney looks in, the 0-2 pitch. That one is a little soft liner. The shortstop makes the play. It's going to be close. Not in time. A run will score. And it's 9-3. An infield hit for Hunch. Her first RBI of the day.
Yeah, that's a tough play right there. A ball deep in the hole. It was still a good throw, good stretch at first, and she just plain beat it.
Here's Kirsten Marshall.
The left fielder, the designated player, number 4, Kirsten Marshall.
Kirsten had a fielder's choice, but picked up an RBI in the 6th inning. And she bunts this one over to third. Let's see what Leon can do. She fires it to first. Well, she would have had her out, but it was kind of bobbled. Dropped there at first base. Everybody's safe. A run scores, and it's 9-4. I'm guessing that will be an error on the third baseman on the low throw.
He's going to have to switch pitchers if he goes out. Oh, he's questioning.
He's questioning the call.
I thought he was calling a timeout.
Well, now it's starting to get interesting, with the middle of the lineup coming up. For those of you who may be tuning in to watch the Florida High Keystone Heights game, the game scheduled to start at 5 is going to be pushed back now because of this game. We could be starting as late as 5:45. We'll start the next game about 45 minutes following the conclusion of this one.
Shortstop, number 9.
Here's Amber Plaza. The shortstop is 1 for 3 today with a double and an RBI. 2 outs as 2 runs have come across the plate. The first pitch is outside for ball 1.
Yeah, it only takes a couple of plays, and Bishop Verot, you know, you get some life, hitting becomes contagious.
As that one is called a strike. The 1-1 pitch outside, 2-1.
Yeah, she's missing with the curveball a little bit. She probably just needs to change where she's landing with her front foot and get her power line fixed, and she can get that ball into the zone.
Plaza does have some power. Hits this one to second. That should do it. The throw to first is in time, and the ball game is over. So Gulliver Prep will be heading back to the state championship game. Vikings do play a couple of runs in the inning on just 1 hit. There was also an error, a couple of walks. 2 runners were left on base. Congratulations to the Bishop Verot Vikings. Their season ends at 24-7. Meanwhile, the Gulliver Prep Raiders, congratulations to them as they improved to 26-5, and they will play the winner of our next game between Keystone Heights and Florida High for the Class 4A championship tomorrow afternoon at 4:05. Final score, Gulliver Prep 9, Bishop Verot 4. I want to remind you folks that if you would like to purchase a DVD copy of today's game, you can go to FHSAAsports.com. They just announced that the Keystone game will begin at approximately 5:35. This has been a production of Play On Sports. For my broadcast partner, Mike Estes, I'm Mike Rideout saying so long for now from the National Training Center in Clearmont. Once again, the final, Gulliver Prep 9, Bishop Verot 4.